Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here with Andy Wong, who is the VP of Marketing at Eme Hive. Hey, Andy, how's it going?
It's going good. It's a pleasure to talk to you, fellow Andy.
That's right. Always good to talk with another Andy. Thanks for joining me here. Tell me a little bit about what you do at Eme Hive.
Yeah, so as you know, the VP of Marketing, it's quite all-encompassing, all things marketing, trying to put our best foot forward at Eme Hive and try to be as relevant as we can to the folks we're trying to serve. And yeah, try to let people know more about us and really build a brand and stay true to our company mission statement, which is to really elevate Asian American voices.
Wonderful. And tell me, like, what's the elevator pitch for Eme Hive? What do you do?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I would say Eme Hive is a dating and live streaming app platform. We're trying to be more all-encompassing where, whatever you're trying to look for, whether that be a serious relationship, maybe you're taking a break from trying to do serious dating, you're just looking to flirt or looking for like-minded communities to be a part of, we're there for you. So that would be our one-sentence elevator pitch.
I see. And it's all around dating, or is it also around, building friendships with other people? Like I know some of the other dating apps, for example, do that as well. What's this orientation of the platform?
Yeah, it would be for both. Yeah, friendships as well. We also have a live streaming platform within our app. So we have the dating portion where you can, try to do the traditional dating approach, which try to find matches and strike a conversation, get to know folks better. But also our live streaming platform allows you to join communities and support streamers, get some good entertainment, some meaningful entertainment, and build relationships with folks within those streaming communities.
That's really interesting. So tell me an example of, so let's say that I join Eme Hive and I'm interested in the live streaming aspect of it. What's my Discover experience like? How do I tap into any of that?
Yeah, we have a lot of streamer communities that you can join and you can be asked to join, and you can actually browse through them and extrapolate what their values are based on the community names. Like for instance, if you really want to see people cook or you want to cook alongside with some fellow chefs, you can find one that's like that, and you can watch their live stream, or you can even join a live stream or start a live stream yourself. And then you can even participate in the live stream while folks are cooking or you're cooking and other folks can give their input. That's kind of how it works. And if you want something a bit more casual and entertaining, we have communities like that. Yeah, it's really up to the imagination.
That's very cool. And I like the idea because it seems to reflect a little bit more naturally what the building a relationship experience is like, right? I mean, we all sort of meet each other, have a warming period where we get to know each other a little bit, and then a relationship may develop from that. So it's kind of nice to have those shared experiences up front, or a way to be able to do that. Tell me a little bit about the people who are using your platform. Like, what's the profile of your users?
Yeah, ever since we started the live streaming portion of the app, we've seen some younger demographics come in, which is really awesome to see. Our dating service is usually mid-20s and up is what we usually see. Specifically, we try to position ourselves with the Asian American community, but honestly, I think our community and app has grown to really service anyone who's looking for folks trying to understand their cultural background and values and where those come from. From speaking with a lot of our users as well, that's one of the most important things. It's not so much, folks looking for specific ethnicities as it is like folks really trying to find other people who understand their culture and their values.
And so people love to hear about the origin story of a company, right? How did all this start? And going from 0 to 1 is probably the hardest thing to do in a business. Tell me a little bit about the origin story and how the company started and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, so Eme Hive actually started as East Meet East, so that's what the EME kind of stands for. It's a little callback to our origins. And that was when our founder and CEO, Mariko, was looking for something that didn't exist, right? She was a uh, Japanese female in London, and she was trying to make connections with other Japanese folks, but she had a hard time finding that with other apps because other apps just kind of grouped Asians all in one category. So Mariko being Mariko, not having the service and app that was available, set out to just make one, which is, I think, a really boss move. And yeah, we've just been growing since, and that was in 2013, and we've come a long way, I think.
That's
And yeah,
fantastic. And tell me about any, KPIs or growth stats or anything about the business. How big of a company are you guys?
oh, I would say we have a lot of room to grow right now. We're a small company, but our KPIs, I think, like a lot of other businesses, are really striving towards, the app growth, the growth of the community. So a lot of eyes on the number of folks that are being able to join and meaningfully engage.
Hmm.
And I would also say another thing that I've learned actually coming from a mobile gaming background, going into like the dating service world, is really managing the nuances of our user community. Because you're coming from mobile gaming, we just wanted anyone who was happy to play our games. It didn't really matter where they're coming from or what their background is or what they look for. As long as they're having fun playing our games, that's all we cared about. But in dating, there's a bit more of a nuanced balance that we have to do. So if you think about the dating ecosystem and all those little things that kind of go into it, if you think about the supply and demand even of dating, those are things that actually now matter a lot, and we take a look at those KPIs as well.
That makes sense. And
Mhm.
is it mostly app-driven kind of experience, or is it a web-based experience as well?
We do have a web based platform. I would say that our live streaming platform right now is only available on the app. So we definitely say the app experience is uh, more encompassing, but for folks who like the traditional approach of using the browser, totally understand that. And we have a service there available there as well.
I see. And is this is the kind of thing where you are finding people geographically around you, or is it broadly within the community? Tell me a little bit about how the matching side of that works.
Yeah, the matching is quite sophisticated. So it is geo-based, so you do get matched based on proximity. That's actually a really big thing. One of those factors that we didn't have to really care about in mobile gaming that
Yeah.
we have to consider quite a lot in the actual dating service is, proximity. If you're the one person on the app in like Toronto, for example, where I'm based, and there's no one else in Toronto, that's a very bad experience. So we make sure that there's some folks around. Um, and yeah, I would say, sorry, well, what was I lost myself.
Yeah, just talking about geographically, like how does matching side of the platform work?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, the matching. And so that's geographically, the proximity is a big factor. And we actually have a lot of other considerations when the user signs up that they can actually put in like their preferences, their hobbies, specific filters that range from anything such as um, smoking preferences to preferences of starting a family or openness to kids. So we're trying to be as cognizant as we can of the certain things that people actually look for in a date. So thinking about, that awkward first date conversation, all those key points that you want to bring up or you're kind of scared to, we try to put that into our filtering system and matching algorithm. So that takes a bit of that away from you.
That's great. And tell me, like, so through COVID, I would imagine, people are looking, we're looking back then to connect with people, even though they weren't able to go outside in many cases. Um, Tell me about how the company grew through that period.
Yeah, that was actually one of the periods that we really saw our live streaming platform really kick off.
Mhm.
We saw folks really wanting to make meaningful connections, but not being able to really meet up like the traditional physical way. And that's when our live stream communities really grew. And we saw such a great potential, and we saw so much user engagement with that. We basically have been trying to build it out ever since. And that has been really awesome to see. And I would say, to top it off, that's helped our dating service as well quite a bit. Because one thing I think folks were having a lot of trouble with was trying to date during the lockdown. And without the ability to meet up in person, you're kind of stuck on the text. You can actually live stream with potential matches and make sure they are who they say they are, and if you actually vibe. So when the time comes that you are able to meet up in person, at least you've already got that vibe check and security check in a way.
Yeah, very cool. That's great. And so as a content company, I always love hearing stories about how content marketing has added value. Tell me a little bit about how content marketing has added value to Eme Hive.
Yeah, I would say two primary ways content has really added value to us. The first primary way has been testimonies and user testimonies, just folks who are willing to share their stories and how Eme Hive has actually made a meaningful difference in their life. Like we've had people get married after meeting through our app, and now some of
So
them have
great.
starting families. Yeah, it's surreal to be honest.
Awesome.
And those really I think really help because one, it makes us really more empowered to do what we're doing, and also I think it shows like a social proof and security proof for other folks who are a bit more hesitant to try a new dating service that there are cases where it has worked out very well. And I would say the second way content has been really strong for us is we do a lot of influencer collaborations, especially with video content. That's been something that's really helped drive our brand and our mission statement of really empowering the Asian American community. We work closely with influencers that align with those values that we have, especially influencer and creators in the Asian American sphere. And we always give those creators creative freedom, really, to see how they would like to actually do a collaboration and integration with Eme Hive. And I think that not only aligns our brand with the potential influencer, but also empowers the influencer and what we're trying to do as well. So I think that has been a really fruitful relationship these past few years.
That's really cool. And so is that the kind of thing where an influencer would create a video telling their story about their experience on Eme Hive or something like that?
Actually, it's even more than that. It's like maybe something that they've seen that they really want to put a voice out on, and their like lived experience as like an Asian American,
Hmm.
for instance. The difference between I think we've worked with the Fung Bros, for example, and they did kind of a video on the difference between like hookup culture and serious dating in the Asian American experience, and what nuances those kind of look like, because there's different cultural expectations, especially with an Asian American background. The last generation, I think, had a much more serious take on dating, whereas now we have a new generation who are having new values in a new environment that they're growing up in, how that cultural shift is really impacting them. And I think that lends a voice to these topics and themes that are really resonant in our community, and I think ergo resonant to Eme Hive.
Very cool. And what's your marketing strategy for educating prospective customers, educating them and telling them a little bit about what to expect?
Yeah, outside, I would say, of our influencer collaborations, influencer marketing, we do have like a blog that we uh, actively maintain on our website, which I think is really good. And through our live streaming community, it's always very active. We have a dedicated team that actually monitors our live streaming community and keeps up to date, always pushes new events. So folks who come in, when they're going through the actual like first time user experience of the app, they get brought into a bit of the dating side of the UI, they get brought into a bit of the live streaming side of the UI. Everything they're seeing is actually real time. It's not like a how would you say, curated, or lack of a better word, kind of fake first time user experience where everything looks glamorous as you walk through like a gaming tutorial, for instance. And once
Yeah,
you jump into the actual environment, it's all different. It's actually what they're seeing during that first time user experience, all real content.
very cool. And what are your main social media channels? How do people find you on social media?
Yeah, they can find us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. We are Eme Hive on all of them. Eme usually underscore Hive. Sometimes we are Eme underscore Hive underscore live streaming, specifically for our live streaming community and events. So if folks are interested in taking a look at all the cool stuff we have working there, I invite them to take a look there.
Very cool. Andy, this has been awesome. Great job. Really excited to see the company continue to grow here. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Andy.
you.